speaking of the tariff problems with the United States and humorless politicians not knowing the difference between a Trump joke and reality, we've got old loony Liz May, the
Oh no.
cult leader of the fringe Green Party cult here in Canada. She went on a tirade today against Trump's heckling of Canada, joking about Canada becoming the 51st state and replacing Trudeau with Wayne Gretzky. She thinks these are all real things, I think. Anyways, let's watch. I've got stuff to say.
So no, sorry. And I really also take offense, sorry, Mr. Trump, took offense to your idea that Pierre Poilievre wasn't good enough to lead the Conservatives. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, he's great. He is the great one. He skates to where the puck is going. It's not going to MAGA. The puck is on a Canadian ice rink. And by the way, Mr. Trump, please, before making public pronouncements that Wayne Gretzky should run for prime minister, give yourself or get yourself a briefing on the nature of parliamentary democracy, a Westminster parliamentary system, and a constitutional monarchy where no one runs for prime minister. We have elections for members of parliament. We don't get to pick and choose among our billionaire friends for who gets a seat at the cabinet table. If they're not an elected member of parliament, well, Canadian system is different from that of the United States of America. I suggest that Mr. Trump find one of his grandchildren's school books and look at the year 1776, which may explain a few things to him about why our systems of government are different. I don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province.
Ooh.
How about it? California, Oregon, Washington.
Yikes.
You've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia. There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. Universal free health care. No more one-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor. Universal free health care. And guess what? Those gun laws that your Congress is too afraid to pass because of the national gun lobby, we already got our strict gun laws. That's why we have the safest streets around the world, or at least in the United States, by the way, the most recent stats, 5.9 out of every 100,000 people is killed in a fatal gun incident versus 0.88 per 100,000 in Canada. That's because we have strict gun laws. California citizens, Oregon, Washington, safer streets. Here we already have good gun laws, and women have a right to an abortion under our universal health care system. But, we don't have to stop there. Donald, think about it. You could get rid of all these states that always vote Democrat. You know what else will take Bernie Sanders off your hands? Proud new Canadian citizen of the great province of Vermont. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. We'd love to see you. Our maritime provinces already have deep, deep links and ties. Well, enough kidding around. But honestly, President Trump, get used to it. Canada is a sovereign nation full of, guess what, proud Canadians. We're not jingoistic. We don't boast a lot. That's one of the things we kind of have in common with Jimmy Carter. We're not a big nation for braggarts and bullies. We actually like to think we're of service in the world. We could do better. We can always do better. But we love our country. And it's a country. It's a nation. And we do not aspire to be 51st state. So let's not hear that anymore. If it was a joke, it was never funny, and it ends now.
Oh, there's a joke on the screen, all right. And, I don't know, Sheila, maybe it's elder abuse. Maybe it's offside to make fun of the mentally ill. But, I mean, it's so telling her cherry picking of the states. On the left coast, California, Washington, and Oregon. And then on the East Coast, we have Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. How about Florida, Texas, and Tennessee? Those are my kind of states if we're adding new Canadian provinces. But, Sheila, at least she didn't go full Islamic terrorism. Do you remember a decade ago, and maybe super producer Olivia can source that infamous embarrassment that was Elizabeth May? I think it was at the Correspondents' Dinner in Ottawa. And I think she was drunk. In fact, I would bet on it. And she started singing Welcome Back, Cotter, but to changing the lyric Cotter to Cotter, our own homegrown Al-Qaeda terrorist. This woman is a lunatic, Sheila.
She said that she was on NyQuil at the time.
Oh, really?
And I believe that, I'm not sure if NyQuil is habit forming, but I would guess it is, because she's behaving this. Look at her. Okay, I'll shut up. Let's show this.
Representing Ontario, but really that would have been my fun moment, but they don't let me in on that. I don't know why. I keep begging, Lisa, Megan, what can I do? I want to be a backup girl, do-up. Anyway, I have very little time to share with you what must be important, which is to say, we've now heard from the only 3 of us as federal party leaders, but there are 4 of us. Voici les 4 chefs des partis au niveau fédéral. Et la question clé, c'est que lequel ce n'est pas comme les autres, comme des autres. Peut-être tout le monde pense, mais participer. It never occurred to me that we would have a prime minister who didn't show up, right? It's been 9 years. Okay. I gotta calm down.
Yeah, we didn't.
Anyway, she goes on. Lisa MacLeod has to come drag her drunk ass off the stage. Where was Lisa MacLeod today? Because we could have used a little bit of it. Listen, sorry.
Yeah, Lisa MacLeod should wear like a referee uniform. And by the way, what you're looking at, folks, that was the theme from Welcome Back, Cotter, a forgettable 1970 sitcom. But she was singing Welcome Back, Cotter. Can you imagine someone who aspires to be prime minister lauding a terrorist who killed one of our allies and partially blinded another, and of course was nicely rewarded with $10.5 million. That was one of the first things the Justin Trudeau Liberals did back in 2016. Sheila, I don't recognize this world sometimes. I can't believe the caliber of people that get into public office, quite frankly.
And Liz May she's like, I say she is a cult leader. Because once she gets ousted, then she just gets right back in.
Yep.
Like it's crazy. The woman is absolutely insane.
Yep.
Like that, what we saw there was a press conference, like not the Lisa MacLeod saving her from herself. And, that's how bad it was, is that a conservative had to come get on stage and rescue, I think, the audience from Liz May. I don't think she was rescuing Liz May from herself. I think she was trying to spare the audience any more nonsense. Because Liz May can blow herself up who cares, right? But what we saw, her tirade about Trump, that was a press conference about Trump jokes. And she had prepared notes. Like she was making sure, like she was like, yeah, this is going to be good. Say that, Liz. Say that, Liz. Like talking herself up, making notes to make sure she got all the things she wanted to say out. And frankly, after listening to her, I hope she is our trade negotiator with the Trump administration, because I accept those terms. Let's do a swap. I'll go to the United States, like the central part of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and maybe a little bit of Manitoba. We'll go where we're more culturally compatible, and Canada gets New York, Oregon, and California. I accept these terms. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh, I don't know. And, Sheila, let's not forget, just like Trudeau, such a flagrant hypocrite. This is the leader of the Green Party. And do you remember a few years back, I think it was in BC at I think it was the Victoria Day parade. And what vehicle was Elizabeth May in the parade? Was it a plug-in Toyota Prius? Oh, no. It was a Dodge Viper. Think about that, folks. A 2-seater, 10-cylinder, 640 horsepower car. And she's not like sneaking off to a country retreat. She's proudly in a parade when she's advocating going green. Again, a lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, but that's Liz May. There's something, I think, psychologically wrong with that woman.
Yep.
Completely. She took a big swipe at Danielle Smith today, said Danielle Smith isn't helpful by going to the Trump inauguration. Like, Danielle Smith, like I said, is working her butt off to try to save the Canadian economy from Trump tariffs, trying to build inroads to make sure that our oil and gas isn't tariffed, our agriculture isn't tariffed, and doing the things that the federal government should be doing at the border, securing the Alberta border, even though that is a federal government duty. She's sending our public safety minister down to Texas to meet with the Americans to talk about border security. This is all stuff that our current public safety minister federally should be doing if he wanted to rescue the Canadian economy from tariffs. We're doing it. And she's saying, oh, Danielle Smith, you're not being helpful.
Premiers have, and Chrystia Freeland's resignation letter also highlighted this, the premiers have stepped up. I question how helpful it is for Danielle Smith to be current favorite Mar-a-Lago. I question whether frankly, in terms of climate action, it would be a great idea to not send unprocessed bitumen to the United States, process it in Canada. We could improve our productivity enormously as a country if we didn't send any raw resources as exports. Raw logs, raw bitumen, we should be processing here first and only exporting value-added product. But that's another whole conversation. Doug Ford is famously Doug Ford. And if he's going to freelance a bit, he gets the U.S.'s attention, and most Canadians, I think, like it. But it's not a real negotiating position.
She's trying to save everybody, not just Alberta, but whatever. Liz May's tirades aren't helpful.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.